So while I lived in Bali last year, back in 2023, I got the chance to be around a lot of highly successful people my age. We're really talking about the 0.01% of my age group, and I'm age 23. And not only I got to meet them, but with quite a lot of them I also became good friends. We started going to parties, we started going to dinners together. With a lot of them I'm still in good contact, and being around all of those highly successful people my age inspired me a lot. Obviously you become the average of the 5 people around you, but more importantly it showed me a lot of valuable lessons that I can still use today, 6 months later. And in this video I'm going to share the most important lessons that I've learned with you. So let's get into that real fucking quick. The first thing you need to know about all these young successful people is that they're no different than you. They're human. Like, they have 24 hours in a day, they have to eat, they have their favorite meals, they take shits, they piss, they fuck, they drink, they want to have fun just as much as you do. They're all young, and just because they have a lot of money doesn't mean they are boring. But on the other hand, because they have a lot of money or a lot of followers doesn't mean they're interesting people as well. They might actually have multi-million people audiences on, let's say, YouTube, and you might think they're super confident, they might be teaching people about confidence, about whatever, but when you meet them in real life, they're actually still quite shy, or they're completely different from what you've expected them to be in real life. But on the other hand, you have the type of people who come across as absolute dicks on camera, but when you meet them in real life, they apparently seem pretty damn nice. And I'm obviously not going to go into detail about examples or anything, but it's happened too many times during my months in Bali that there was a guy that I used to put on a pedestal because I used to see that guy online, and when I met him or her in real life, it just turned out to be a different person, whether that was in a gym that I met them, or at a pedal club, or at a party. And just a little bit of a side nugget as well, if you want to genuinely connect with these interesting, high level, high value people who've really built something for themselves, it will never happen if you put them on a pedestal, right? As soon as you put people on a pedestal, you tell yourself basically that, oh, I'm below that person. If you put Iman Getzi on a pedestal, which was one of the guys I used to put on a pedestal for a long time, all my friends know about it because I really looked up to the guy, I was never gonna be on the same level as that guy. Like, think about it. If I were to meet Iman Getzi, which I eventually didn't do because he came to Bali literally a week after I left, and all my friends got to meet him and hang out with him, and then there was me who at the same time was surprising my granny and my little sister with my return back home. It was quite fun, but because of that I didn't have the chance to meet Iman Getzi, and maybe that was a good thing, because as I told you guys, I was putting that guy on a pedestal for real. I was putting Iman Getzi on a pedestal for a long time, and if I would have bumped into Iman Getzi back then at Miss Fish, I would have probably been like, oh shit, that's him. I would be like, I know this guy immediately. I haven't even talked to him. I don't know what kind of guy it is in real life. I don't know anything about him other than what I've seen online, yet still I'm kind of intimidated in a way. I put myself in a lower frame, and because of that, like, you're never gonna be able to have like an interaction like you would have with any other human. With any other human, you would go up to them and just talk and have a conversation, and if it's a good conversation, you might even continue the conversation on a different spot, meet up later, become friends, whatever. And the trick with influential guys, the trick with high level people, is to just treat them as normal people. Even if you know someone, pretend like you don't know that person. Just go up to them and see if they're a fun person to be around. If so, you guys can connect on something. If not, so be it. But a lot of times with these influential people you see online, you already got an image of them. They already put them on a pedestal, and because of that, you're never going to be at the same level. Then you're never going to be able to make a genuine connection, because it's always this fanboy and star dynamic. And obviously, this isn't something you easily solve. You really need to ingrain in your mind that you are the number one priority in your life, and that you are the highest on the pedestal, and that nobody in this world should be on a higher pedestal than you. But that's difficult, like, especially, I can see it in my home country. You've got this Formula 1 racer, Max Verstappen, I think you all know him, and I would say millions of people in the Netherlands have that guy so badly on a pedestal that grown-up men being 40, 50 years old are wearing his merchandise on the street, and I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? You're literally adoring a person who shits, a person who fucks, a person who has bad traits, a person that is literally just a human. Why? It's not a god, and they're treating him like a demigod simply because he's a good driver. It doesn't make fucking sense. So please, for God's sake, stop putting people on a pedestal. Even note to myself, even if it's Iman Getzi, and even though I am super aware of this, I still made this mistake myself literally 3 weeks ago. I was in Marbella. I was at the pedal club where I'm going to be hosting pedal events from next month, and I was literally there for a business meeting, right? And the same afternoon we had a viewing at the Ferrari dealership, so you can imagine we were feeling like ballers. Yet at the same time, when I went back to put my records back, my pedal records, I saw a guy sitting there and I was like, oh my god, that's David from How to Beast. It was like, I know that guy. He has like 1.5 million on YouTube. That used to be one of the first self-improvement YouTubers I watched. That inspired me. So when I went back, obviously I trained myself to go up to people, just because you never know what kind of people you'll meet that way. I literally make it a habit to just talk to random people. So I remember I got back from the desk where I put my pedal records back and I started walking back, and somehow there was an impulse inside of me that said, let's just approach that guy, let's talk to him about anything. But I made a big mistake there, because I literally said, you look familiar. Aren't you like a YouTuber? And he was like, yeah, I'm a YouTuber. You're David, right? Yeah, that's me. And from that moment, it's a fanboy and a superstar dynamic. And that's exactly what you want to avoid. And the worst thing is, this guy lives in Marbella. He was literally there to go to the gym. He likes playing pedal. He would be an amazing client for my business. And if I would have put myself on the same level as him, I could have leveled with him just like with any other guy, and I would have been able to invite him for my pedal events. But now it was this fanboy dynamic, which is completely the wrong side of things to look at. So again, take this into your mind when you see a famous person the next time. Just go say hi as if they're a random person. They might stink from their mouth. Honestly, I swear to God, these people are just people. They're not gods by any means. That brings me on to the second lesson that I learned from being around these highly successful people. Nearly all of the successful people I met in Bali had one thing in common: clout. It's incredible what you can get with a lot of IG followers, a big YouTube fan base. People will start treating you differently. You will be recognized. You will be taken way more seriously. I know I met guys who made 5 million in crypto in the past 6 days before I met them. Yet this guy had a shitty Instagram. He had barely any followers. He had a few hundred followers. No one was taking this guy seriously at the start. If he would have been a crypto influencer and he started talking to us about his numbers, I would have taken him seriously immediately. Even if it was a guy with like an Instagram where you can see like, oh, this guy's a baller, this guy's for real. But this guy only had pictures from 5 years ago, maybe when he was still in the Netherlands at uni. And even though he was a multi-millionaire, he made 5 million in the past 6 days, and he showed me. It's fucking insane. He still looked like some random ass bum because he had a shitty Instagram. And you don't even have to have that many followers. Like, clout will help. For example, there is a good friend of mine, Arturo. There was this dinner and we were sitting at the dinner table and my friend Finn was saying like, yo bro, you know Thomas Garnett, he and a friend are in Bali right now for a mastermind, this and that. And I was like, oh yeah, I know the guy, I saw his YouTube videos. I remember like he invited Thomas and Arturo came to the dinner and we had the best time. We went out together, it was really fun. But I remember like this guy, Arturo, shout out to Arturo, really cool guy. He has almost 400k Instagram followers. So immediately I was like, what the fuck does this guy do? What the fuck? Is he a famous YouTuber? Is he a famous TikToker? How the hell does he have 380k followers? And just that amount of social proof, that amount of clout got me in this dynamic at first, being like a little bit, I wouldn't say shy, because I'm never shy with people, but more like treating him with a lot more respect than I would have done if it would have had like 300 followers, to say it like that. But even if you're not clouded and you don't have that many followers, there is still a lot of ways to improve your Instagram. I'm gonna make a video about that later on. Actually, quite frankly, I did make a course about all of this because basically my Instagram has been my ticket to all of these people. My Instagram showed people my lifestyle. My Instagram showed them that I was kind of living a baller lifestyle, or I was like on a similar level as them. Simply because I put it together in a very curated way. So I spend a lot of hours doing that. I spend a lot of hours researching it. And now I've got an Instagram of which, well, you can check it out. I'm honestly proud. It ticks so many boxes. It shows online entrepreneurs like, oh, this guy is probably an online entrepreneur as well. This guy is doing shit with his life, which makes it so easy to connect with people. And that's why it is of crucial importance not to neglect your Instagram, because you can earn so much money. Yes, you will live in private, but you will still have barely any respect at first. You will still have to earn it. You might still be seen as some random Australian bum. So please upgrade your Instagram. If you need help with that, please let me know in the comments. I'll be glad to help you out. You can send me a DM as well. If I get enough DMs, I will just launch that course for pretty cheap. And that brings me to the third lesson that I've learned from these highly successful young people. And that is basically a combination of two things. Those people are ruthless in the best way possible. If they want something done, it gets fucking done. They're able to move mountains. They're able to do work in 3 hours that you are not even able to do in a week. How are they able to do that? First off, they really deeply understand the 80-20 rule. They deeply understand that 20% of your actions is what brings you 80% of the returns. So they focus on 20% of the actions that brings them all the results. And instead of putting 20% in it, they put 100% on the 20% that brings all of the results, which leads to them going 5 times as fast as them just putting the 20% on that 20% that brings them forward and 80% on like bullshit. Just think about it. If you're starting a business, if you're starting a Shopify store, what you're going to be doing is literally go to Canva, make a logo, think about the name, think about the branding, and all of that shit. It's kind of important, but does it bring in money? No. I'm guilty of this myself really bad. I'm like a bad overthinker. But you have to realize this does not bring in money. Those activities don't bring in money. What brings in money? If you start a store, launch the store, connect some products, launch ads, see if it works, iterate, improve. That's what brings in money. And that's the mindset that I need to ingrain in myself way more. These young successful people, they're ruthless. If they want something done, they get it done. When they start a Shopify store, they will literally smash out that store within a day. They will smash out the ads in the same day. So within 24 hours of getting an idea for a store, they are already in the process of validating that idea. As much as a lot of them are obviously pretty famous on Instagram, they're still able to put in the laser focus for work when needed. They are able to put down their phone when they need to work. They're able to make a division between their phone usage and their work. Maybe a lot of times they have 2 phones, but a lot of times they just have 1 iPhone as well, and they're still able to divide it. And even when they go on social media, they use it in a productive way. They use it in a way to create content rather than consume content. They spend at least 50% of their time on social media producing. Always. All the time. You will never meet a successful person who just scrolls on TikTok all day. It just won't happen. And now we have 2 puzzles of their ingredient. Basically, they have the laser focus and they focus on the 20% that brings all of the results. And combine that with a ruthless belief that if they want something, they will make it happen. They will be proactive to make everything happen in their favor. If they're at a restaurant and they don't have scrambled eggs, they will go to the manager to ask the chef to make scrambled eggs. And it fucking works. They always do it because they want to keep their clients happy, obviously. And this is something that you can easily put into practice as well. And this is literally what I did last week when I went for lunch with a friend. There were no scrambled eggs on the menu and I wanted scrambled eggs. I hadn't eaten anything that morning. I wanted my scrambled eggs. So I just went up to the manager and I was like, oh, I see there are no scrambled eggs on the menu. Can I just order some scrambled eggs with you? Yeah, that's fine. Don't worry. Easy. Super easy. Just ask for what you want. If you never ask, your answer will always be no. And it will never change to yes. You've got the no, but you can get the yes just by asking. The chances of you getting a positive reply for something might be low, but a chance of 0.1% is still bigger than a chance of 0%. Remember that. Now combine that mentality with the personal brand that a lot of them have, and you can see why they're ultra successful and why you're not. Even though they still want to have fun, even though they're still shit, even though they still are people, that's the difference. That's literally the difference between those people and you. But also remember, these people are human just like you. They weren't born like this. They just taught themselves the things that need to be done. Like you will never be able to escape from the hard work. It just won't happen. That's the point. You guys are always looking for shortcuts, like me included. Always looking for that golden nugget that will get you into action, but that will just never come. And I did the same thing with this YouTube thing. I was always looking for the golden nugget to go viral quick as possible, until I realized I had to put in the work. I had to make these videos and actually put them out there to see, okay, what performs well, what is a good workflow for editing, how well am I at speaking, where do I need to improve. And when you're speaking, when you're making these videos, you'll improve and improve and improve and improve. I already know that at one point I'm just due to blow up. It's inevitable, because I've got this belief in my mind that if I won't stop now and if I keep improving, there will be this point where it goes like this and then out of nowhere it goes like that. It's inevitable, honestly. And the same will happen to you if you start putting in the work today. There is always a time lag between your actions and the results. Usually it's like a few months, because think about it, the life you're living right now is based off the actions you've made maybe 90 or 60 days ago. If you would have started with that e-commerce store 90 days ago, you might have been raking in like 10k days by now. Who knows? But you're not, you're still sitting in your room. And why is that? Because you never took action 90 days ago. The only advice I can give you is make sure that doesn't happen 90 days from now. Just like I'm not letting this happen with the YouTube thing again. Imagine if I would have never taken this step in the new year, if I would have never uploaded these videos. In 3 months from now, I would literally still be at 0 subscribers. I would still be at the same place where I used to be. And that's just an endless spiral that will go on until you're old and broke and unhappy and grey and sick and just... You don't want that. Just break the spiral, start today. Obviously, it would have been better to start a year ago, but the second best time is today. I know it sounds cliche, but it is true. So with that being said, that's where I end this video. I hope you got some value out of it, and please take action on these points. Know that these people are not special, don't put them on a pedestal, but still learn from them. Build that personal brand, use the 80-20 rule for your work, make sure you upgrade your concentration and focus so you can actually get a shit amount of work done where others can't, and be sure to be proactive. Practice it the next time when you go to a restaurant. Just ask for something that's not on the menu. I'm pretty sure the cooks will have it, and even if you get a no, that's still better than not having asked for what you want. A 0.1% chance is still better than a 0% chance. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something from this. I hope you guys take action on this. I'm almost at 100 subscribers, so if you're still watching this, I would honestly appreciate it so much if you would subscribe so I could hit that 100 subscribers still this month. If you want to connect with me, if you've got any questions, you know where to find me on Instagram, on TikTok, on Twitter, whatever. Links are in bio. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Ciao.